guess we could yeah, what do you call it? Look back on that the last podcast we did. Just reflect on that. So what y'all think? Oh, so
What game did we play last time?
Last time we did it was a discussion episode.
Oh yeah.
oh, so D7, yeah, you should definitely still do the introduction and everything. Roll us into the podcast, but then we would just kind of
we are
reflect on that.
live. You know that. You know we're live, right?
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to mention it right now because I just, it slipped my mind.
Hey, Wolfie. Got new voice. We got new eyes definitely in the chat. How you guys doing? But my daughter's birthday party was on Sunday, and we had a whole bunch of children over here, and it was just a whole lot of noise going on, and we had a blast. And my brother challenged me to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, knowing I'm rusty at that game. So he was getting the best of me, so I kind of like practiced, and we played last night, and I beat him 13-3.
Oh, nice. Dang. Gee, I mess around with Tekken a little bit here and there. Matter of fact, I had the podcast game open, and I got so sleepy from the podcast game, I cut it on Tekken. So that's the thing. I'll be playing it every now and then.
That's and any kind of new news on the RPG Maker community that you guys may ran across upon?
Not on the RPG Maker community, but the Pixel Game Maker community. Those guys dropped a new template for a side scroller. Hold up. I did mention, I think last week, that that one RPG Maker game dropped, Beloved
Rapture.
Yeah, that was a pretty big drop too. So
What you think about that one?
I was thinking about picking it up, but I don't know. I think I might watch somebody stream it or something like that. That's just my thing. So I don't know. Like, yeah, what y'all think? I was on the fence. I'm on the fence.
I love that game. I mean, I haven't bought it yet, but when I played the demo, it was definitely something that I definitely want to pick up. Let me do a sound chat real quick, because remember I had to change my settings, and I want to make sure everybody I could hear and stuff. So go ahead and and talk.
Yeah, what you think, Psychronic, about the Beloved Rapture?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of on it. I just it's an RPG, but I don't know if I could try it, but maybe I'll try it later when it's on sale or something. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think I might try the demo now that I think about it. If they have a demo, so for sure going to download the demo and try that. That's where I'm at with that. It's still every game's got to have that hook. Yeah. So as pumped as I am that an RPG Maker game got successful, I still all right, well, it still got to be my flavor of food type of deal.
Yeah, same.
Hold on. Oh man, I guess it's that time. Let's people wants to see the game. All right, guys. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Rarely Typical Player podcast. Those who are now new to the chat, to my left, well, if you're looking at the screen, to my left, this side, this is Marlon Unjaded, the newest member. Well, he's not a new member anymore. He's definitely rooted now. He's familiar with everything that we do in the podcast. So definitely, I welcome Marlon Unjaded.
What's up, yo?
And to my right, we have a seasoned developer. The developer of the Starshift franchises. You got Starship Rebellion, Starship Origins, it's just Starship everything. Psychronic Games.
Hey, what's up?
All right, guys. Once again, we bring to you another RPG Maker game. This time we have a game called Castle Xenon. A quick synopsis of Castle Xenon is basically a classic, a retro style RPG which emulates the Sega Genesis. If you play games like Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest or Pier Solar in Architect, which isn't a retro game, but it has that retro Sega Genesis style, I think you would like this one. Alright, so quick synopsis of this. Castle Xenon is a new retro themed console style RPG downloadable for Windows. Traverse a war-torn land on foot and fly over the highest mountains on the back of a friendly dragon in your quest to save your friends and prevent an evil sorcerer from plunging the world. Da da da. And here's the cover art, guys. It's a lot of custom art. See how that looks? You got a guy in front of a octopus, mini eye octopus looking thing. Then you have two women, one with bit tatas. Well, both of them got bit tatas, and you can see some booty patootie with one of them. So what is the motivation of having characters that are like that from the developer? Do you think people will buy the game just because there's beautiful women in it? Or maybe the developer, wants to have beautiful women in their game? I don't know, but what you guys think?
Well, go ahead, Psychronic.
I think whatever works. I don't know if it hurts it, but it kind of just I don't know. I kind of get a sense of humor when I look at that image. Like, it's just kind of funny.
They do say set sells, right?
Yeah. I think oddly I saw the custom art and I got a little interested. Just because it looks so goofy and something like, I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed humorous to me.
Yeah, it looked like somebody put some effort in this game, so that the cover art actually expressed that to me. As I played the game, though, I feel like the little bit of sex in it is like a homage to older games and older like cover art, and like how misogynistic a little bit, like in a way they were like appealing to their audience, like which was like boys, where they would just throw a girl on the cover. And so I got that vibe. I didn't think like the whole game's gonna be like mature. I thought it was just like, yeah, a little bit of sexiness in it to attract the player.
It makes sense. Because games of old, when you look at the art books, the manuals, because most of all games came with manuals. You don't know the in and out of the game unless you play the manual. And like you see on the screen, you have the art, the custom art. And back then, you'll see this kind of art inside of the manual. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the developer is showing definitely their artistic abilities, and just showing it out, giving us the characters in full body pit, full motion, how they look to give the player that vivid imagination instead of just looking at the sprite and thinking, okay, my character's just a sprite. No, they're more than a sprite. They have full character art and stuff like that, and it looks really good. It definitely gives you that Dragon Warrior, aka the hero with the blue hair, Breath of Fire style type game. So it looks really good. I like it. See, look, looks really nice.
Yeah, some of the stuff I didn't. That's interesting. I saw that piece of art just now in the preview. I didn't get that. So
yeah, that's one of the characters that you play as. Well, I think two of them are. I think currently we only are familiar with one, but
Elion.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the game's presentation, mechanics, and what was the other one? Presentation, mechanics.
One second. Gameplay mechanics are part of gameplay, and then presentation,
yes,
gameplay, and then what was the third one? There was a third one. It was like overall, or we'll figure it out.
We're gonna get it because the reason why, because we want to point out the most important steps. We want to point out the most important mechanics, aspects of a game.
And the story.
Duh.
It does. I got it.
To potentially get you guys interested into maybe playing the game and downloading it, and maybe one day, if it becomes a commercial project, buying the game, right? So first we're gonna tackle the story, guys. I already read the synopsis. We played the game. What's up? What is going on?
I thought story-wise, what that description of the game is did not feel like the game I played as far as like the story so far.
Okay.
Basically the story seems to be pretty simple, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of character development for like either any of the characters. It's basically like you start the game, and you have this like rough idea that you're gonna go with your friends to the cave in the east, and then but you don't know how many friends you have or whatever. So what happened when I played the story was I found one of my friends, and then I was like, okay, well, and then they said that the other friend had gone ahead. So I thought, okay, I guess I'll go with this one friend and go ahead to the cave to the east. As I was going along, I realized that I needed to save. I was like, how do I save? And then I was like too far away from the town to go back. But I was trying to.
Let's stick with the story. That seems more like a mechanic.
Yeah, well, the story though, it was pretty light, to be honest. Like, there wasn't a lot. It was basically just a rough idea of these are different characters with different names, and they're friends, and they're trying to go to the cave in the east for some reason, like just an adventure or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I got out of it as a story.
So the game basically gives you your typical RPG where you are a kid, you're a nobody in the village, you have a friend, you either set out to go on an adventure to do something, and next thing you know, boom, you in a whole world of trouble. That doesn't give you, like maybe, how the Secret of Mana vibes. Like, you play Secret of Mana,
Yeah.
You're in the woods and you with the bullies, well, with the neighborhood kids, and you stumble across a sword, you know, without the intentions of you causing anything bad, but you pulling that sword from the rock. You know, you made the worst mistake you could ever make. Now the man of monsters has been freed, and you're banished from the village because, you know, according to legend, they're gonna be after you now and stuff like that. But with this game, just like Psychronic said, you know, you basically, you are in a village and you have to meet up with your friends because you're going to the cave. Why are we going to the cave? Was that thoroughly explained like why we're going to the cave?
Only later, when you were in the cave and they talk about when are we going to find this where's the treasure or whatever.
So the cave,
but not before.
So we're going to the cave because we need to find a hidden treasure, right? So now we have kids that want to seek out treasure, right? Mm-hmm. But one of them has gone ahead because we can't find one, right? After we recruit one, we can't find the other because one has gone ahead. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess so. I'm sorry, I had challenges with this, like progressing in the game.
Yes.
Period. So I couldn't experience the story. Like it really hindered me from experiencing the story.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
for the, I guess the only part I probably could talk about is the beginning, where it has that opening, where the pretty girl comes up and stuff like that. I actually liked that. It was like, it seemed like short, direct, to the point, gave you an image, and it was different than the usual just showing text on the screen to kind of tell a player what's going on with a lot of RPG Maker games, like start off with just some text on the screen. A lot of games do that, but it wasn't as bland. It was like it puts your mind in the sense of something that would, I guess, tie into the story to get you kind of, I guess, get you kind of started. So I like that. It was a nice touch.
All right. Were you distracted by the image of the girl?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, me being a man, probably the male target audience for the game, I think it was a nice image.
So let's make this make sense. Will you buy a game over the image?
I would buy a game and return a game. I would buy and return it. I feel like some of the stuff can be enticing and kind of coax you into the purchase, and then you kind of feel like, oh well, I got tricked. I was tricked, and I admit they got me. So yeah, you know, the thing is, you can't judge a book by its cover. That's what they say. However, the cover is all you got until you open a book. Nobody can walk into the game store, just open a book and read the whole book before they decide if they want it. So the cover is very important. So you're guessing at that point, and the only clues you have is the cover.
All right, so give you guys a little bit more of the story. So basically, you go to the cave. You know, there's something in the cave, and someone, because there's a missing cow. There's a missing cow in the village, so everybody's wanting to know where the cow is at, right? So once again, you got your standard RPG Maker. Well, I won't say RPG Maker, but you got your traditional RPG story. Either someone's missing, or you're searching for something, and you're not looking to get in trouble, but you're going to get into trouble. So upon entering the cave, there's a whole bunch of bandits. The cave is overran by bandits and monsters, so there's your trouble, right? So apparently, you know, we shouldn't be in there, but we're in there. Then next thing you know, long story short, you rescue the cow. I believe that's where Psychronic got to. The mad cow fight. After you beat him, you accidentally find the cow. You wasn't looking for the cow. You accidentally find the cow. Then you're the neighborhood hero. The king wants to see you for a good deed, right? So you go to the king. The king ain't there. The king is away because his daughter is missing. But it turns out the daughter went to a temple and just to pray. She just went to the temple to pray. But the king is upset. Why is the king upset? Knowing we know where his daughter is at. His daughter isn't missing, but he's clearly upset. He's clearly bothered by something. And what is he bothered by? I really don't even know, because the game, you know, it doesn't really give you much story. It just gives you an objective of where you need to go, like what you're doing for that day. So the beginning isn't as strong as you think you will be getting from an actual game of this magnitude. You know, it's it kind of have a slow burn in a way, and the way that it's built, you know, it's a really strong slow burn.
Yeah, and I think its own mechanics get in its way of even keeping you on that path of the expected of the story at all, right? Like, I knew the cow was missing because I talked to like a random NPC. I didn't know that NPC was like anything was critical to that NPC. I didn't know it. I was looking for that NPC's cow. I remember, which you stated that we would save the cow by happenstance. Usually, I think like I'd have played Dragon Quest, those old RPGs, Final Fantasy 1 and stuff like that, that just kind of are vague about delivering a story. However, the plight of like your main quest is kind of reminded to you by almost every NPC you talk to, because they're either stricken with a plague or somebody's trapped in a cave. But everybody in that town is like, well, Sally in that cave, I can't help you till Sally get out the cave, or, you know, and you kind of get refreshed, like, oh, I gotta get Sally, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta go do that. This game had a bunch of different people in the starting town, and there was no way to kind of egg you toward going to the cave. I forgot I had to go to the cave. I went to every other destination I can get to on the map, and then I was like, oh, there's a cave there. I guess I should probably go there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, story. I have nothing. I have stuff on other stuff, but not on the story.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, to the part where I probably played like 2.5, 3 hours of it. You know, I actually got pretty lost. We do have the developer in the chat. Here be dragons. Definitely welcome, my guy. As we come to an understanding of the game. Maybe you can answer some things for me. But yeah, I end up finding the king, and I end up taking the boat. We're going to get more into it with the mechanics because giving directions and stuff like that is very critical. Because you got games where there's cryptic messages where you need to go, like The Legend of Zelda. You have an idea which direction you need to go, but exactly how to do it is mostly cryptic, and with puzzles and stuff that you really need to solve. Now with this game, every NPC has 2 different dialogues, right? You talk to them once, you talk to them again, they say something else, and it's interchangeable. They kind of repeat over and over and over. So if you talk to them one time, you're not going to get everything that you need to know about where you need to go. But as a new player, this is what you're going to get. As a new player, you're going to boot the game up. You're going to realize that you need to go on an adventure. You need to meet up with your friends because y'all need to go to the Eastern Cave and get the treasure out that cave. But instead of running to the treasure, you run into bandits. Then you meet the missing cow. Then now the king want to see you and reward you for your good deeds. And you go see the king. He's stricken. He's depressed because he's worried about his daughter. That's all I got.
Okay.
Because I got lost.
Yeah. Then there's a couple reasons. Yeah, I got lost with the story too, as far as like not knowing where to go and stuff. But it wasn't just that though. Like it's one thing if you like just have to explore and find your way around, but like this game kind of like actively punishes you for exploring. Like you can't explore too far. You have to come back a lot. Otherwise, you're gonna die with no way to save your file. And that happened to me multiple times when I was playing this.
Before we go, let's rate story.
Okay.
It's like we getting in the mechanics now.
Okay, yeah. Let's
rate the story.
Okay. I'm gonna rate the story personally like there wasn't really much of a story, and I didn't really get a lot of character development. I thought that the game looks very good and presentable, and the characters look really good and presentable. But as far as what I actually got out of the story, it didn't seem like very much. And so as far as story goes, like in its current state, I'm going to say my initial impression was kind of like a 4 out of 10.
Okay. I'm going to jump in because it sounds... I like I said, I liked the beginning, the little intro scene. I think that a lot of effort is probably somewhere in the game that I didn't reach. As far as the story, I like the lightheartedness of the game as a whole. Like I like the vibe. Like I could tell what type of vibe they were trying to give with the story, and how you kind of you're like a unsuspecting hero, just walking into an adventure, and it becomes more grand. But I have to say that you cannot get to that part because you're hindered by the mechanics. So it's like this score is the current score. I hope that the adjustments can be made so that the story can be experienced, because I can't even really properly grade or give critique the story of my own ability, right? So I'm gonna have to give it a 3, because it's just that restrictive. It's not even it's not even bad. It's just you can't even get to it. So
Yes.
that's the struggle right now, and that's kind of where I'm at with that.
All right, so we got a 4 and we got a 3. All right, so I personally did get a little bit further than you guys. So I do know, I was able to experience a little bit more dialogue, but it's not really too much. From where you have ended off Psychronic, you ended off with the mad cow, and after that, all I know is the king wants to see me, and now I need to rescue the princess. There's really no antagonist at this moment. There's really no, no plot except the king want to wage a war or something about war talk. It's not really giving me much early on, and I'm like 2 hours in. I don't know if the 2 hours was from struggling or whatnot, because the game, it is a slow paced game. There's no sprinting and there's no running, so I would say, and I hardly had any deaths. I don't think I had a death, if given to that, the only death I really had was a character dying. I had to go back and revive them, but a game over, not really much. But right now it just feels like, we're just being kids who wants to get involved with helping others, what I mean? Because now we want to help find the king's daughter. So I don't really have much story wise to like really get invested, like, oh man, I need this game. So the only thing that could really save it is gameplay and other mechanics. But story, I really have no idea exactly what Castle Xenon mean. I think within 2 to 3 hours, I should have an idea of what the title of the game should at least, hint towards. So I give it a 5. I give it a 5 out of 10 right now. It could go higher once it probably would give us more revelation if we were to actually find the princess. But there's a lot of problems with that, and we will talk more about that in the other category. So I give it a 5. So we got a 5, a 4, and a 3. Not a bad score.
Okay.
What y'all laughing for, man? Come on, bro. Marlon Unjaded.
You said not a bad score.
I mean, that's my motto, man. That's my motto. Not a bad score.
I feel bad for like developers, because there's a number of developers for every game that we review. They like join the podcast for the first time, and then like our rating is part of their experience, and they're like, dang, they just try to doubt my game. I hope that's not the case. I hope they're not thinking that.
No. There's a lot to like in this game, but there's some problems. But we're gonna talk about them, and we just hope that they can get improved and fixed, and then it'll be a much better game.
Go ahead, Marlon. I don't mean to cut you
I was
off.
just saying, like, so I guess this is an advantage for the developer to see to be able to get the reflection from the players, because you might be wondering, hey, why is my game not, I guess being bought or played, or it's not, people aren't getting past something, and you can't like talk to the developers, but I guess you can hear what we said, so there's value in that, what I mean?
But you also got to realize this as well. The developer knows the story, right? He knows what's going to happen. He's not the player, so if he could play test his game many times over and over and over. He knows the outcome. Me, you, Psychronic, and everybody else that's watching this, we don't know diddly squat.
Right. So listening to us is the value. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Only thing we can do is like try to understand it. Even some games have a great story. I play games where the story is so great, you don't get it the first time, but you play it again, you like, oh wow, okay, that's a game that has a great story. You know what I mean? Like it's like if you play a game, it's like you never played it before because the story is so great and you're learning, and once you realize, like when you look back and you like, oh, okay, no wonder why this character acting like this, because he's gearing towards this. It's small things that you may have missed but you're going to pick up because now you're more familiarized with the characters as they progress further on. You know what I mean? It's kind of give you a refresh, but now you're more in tune to the story because you have an idea of what the story is about. Now this game, I don't have any of that. You know, this game I don't have any of that, but the developer do. And the developer said the story gets more serious, but not that much. So maybe this isn't a game that is story driven. Right?
And I understand that, you know what I mean? I'm fine with that. Like some of the funnest games, I guess, in the whole like Dragon Quest series wasn't very story driven. But they had like a simple premise and the story was there. It was like a what do you call it? A trail of seeds to follow to the end, right? So it served its purpose, like in a one of those games like that. And I would assume that is what was supposed to be the story for Castle Xenon. Something to serve its purpose to get you to where you need to go and experience an adventure.
And we have 30 to 40 hours epic adventure. So adventure is basically doing things, maybe seeing places.
A journey.
Mm-hmm. So can you imagine can you play an RPG game? Well, I think I can, to be honest. That's not really heavy story driven. Just give me quests, just give me things to do. I think I'd be satisfied with that. So maybe, you know, the writing aspect isn't the developer's strongest suit.
I wouldn't even say writing. I would say more so in a way, I see what you may be saying, D7, but the actual, like when we get into the presentation and stuff like that, it was like that was the problem I had. You know, I can't progress in the game because I'm so held up doing other things, like movement speed literally is like super slow. There's no run, and the map is so large. You're like, you have to, well, I know I had to walk through one map and then through another map just to get back to my bed in order to sleep. To restore my health so that I didn't waste all my money, so that I could probably have some money. I couldn't find any weapon upgrades that I knew were upgrades. I didn't want to risk. I'm sorry. Well, let's go into the next topic, guys. What's the next one?
All right. We already rated the story 5, 4, 3, and now let's talk about, you know, the mechanics.
Yeah. The gameplay, yeah.
The gameplay.
Yeah, include mechanics for sure.
Yeah. So I felt like the game got in its own way a lot with the mechanics here. So I've never, the thing that's crazy is that this game like looks really good. Like it's got like really good presentation. It really reminded me of like old school retro games and stuff like that. However, the gameplay, it keeps you from going from point A to point B a lot. Like for example, the first time I played it, you don't get, like, because of the story being a little vague, I didn't know how many friends I had to take with me, and the first thing that I thought when I was just starting out is, how do I save? So I find, I vaguely hear in the beginning of the game, go to the cave. So what I do is I go to the, or I start to leave, and I find one of my friends, and I start to go to the cave, and then I realize that I really need to save, and I don't know how to save, and I have my 2 friends all the way to the east, no way to get like healing items or like anything like that, and then I was like, okay, I need to go back, and I tried to go back, and then I died, and then the second time I was like, after I died, after about an hour of playing, then I started again, and I was like, okay, the first thing I need to do is find how to save. And then you find this like priest that you can save for, or he performs various services like reviving your people or saving or things like that. And each time you go to him, he jacks the price up. So I go to save, and then I'm like, okay, I'm saved. Okay, good. And then I had to find the other friend who was in the temple. Then once I found the 3 friends, I could go to the cave. But there didn't seem to be a way to buy like items that heal MP. So I couldn't so my MP would get drained all the time. So in order to get MP, I had to stay near the town because like I could only get MP by going to the inn. And so I had to farm the enemies to earn enough money to be able to afford the saving and revival or whatever. And it kept going up each time, so the price just kept going up. And then and so I was like kind of really, really stuck in having to stay near the town and not able to go on my adventure because the game punishes you for exploring, and then you have no way to save. Like I couldn't save when I was at so then the next thing, I get to the cave, and I'm almost all the way through the cave, and then I realize I don't have enough healing items, and I'm like, okay, I need to go back, and then I try to go back, and then I die, and then it happens all over again, and like this was so frustrating for me to play because of this. Like if you had items available for like MP healing, or you didn't have the priest jack up the price every single time you needed services, then we would have been through to the next part faster, and it would have felt more like natural, and then making it easier to save, because like I got trapped a lot where I got too far away and I had to go back to save, but then I had already done too much, and I just wasted an hour of my time because I have to reload again. And then I couldn't do magic because I couldn't heal MP, so you just had to like attack. That was the only thing you could do, because you gotta save your MP because there's no way to heal it. These are simple fixes though, okay? Like I'm just letting you know, like the mechanics are they're kind of broken in a way, but they're pretty easy to fix. But especially that jacking up the price to save thing, like makes saving easier. Like that was really frustrating for me.
All right, so I get the jacking up the price because you gotta be penalized for winning. I mean for losing. I that's not too big of a issue, but all the other issues is valid. Is valid. What about you? Go ahead.
Oh, I know Nova said, can you save anywhere in this game? No. You can only save in one spot, or there is like, you can have ink and like pen on you that you can save at certain places, but
I don't get that mechanic. I don't understand that. Somebody explain that one to me. I talked to the priest. You need pen. You need a quill. What is it? A quill and
A quill and ink.
But if you save in the book, it only takes one.
Yeah, so I think you need the pen. The pen is like you can write, but your pen can run out of ink, so you keep needing pen. You keep needing ink. So the pen is like you can save, but it also takes another form of currency, which is the ink.
Okay, so the pen doesn't go away. Like
Right.
it just stays at one.
Yeah,
But the ink is how many times you can save.
yeah, and it's kind of like it's kind of like what's it called, Resident Evil, where you needed the little bit of like
The
the
ink
little roll
ribbon.
of
The
ink,
ink
yeah, ink
ribbons.
ribbon, right? But I think that mechanic had a purpose because it wanted to have, it was that artificial sense of like scarcity, where it was like a penalty for dying and you were afraid because if you made it to a certain part, then that tension would be higher. So I think that was the purpose in Resident Evil. Here it's so restrictive. Like I told you guys, I got 15 hours in this game because I had to literally leave the game on until I figured out how I could save. Imagine being that player that never found out that there was a priest that could revive your dead members, that never found out that they had to have an ink and a pen and they had to go find a book to go save. And you never found out that because you never found a priest, then you never found that you could talk to the priest to save.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're locking out an entire level of players just off the strength that if they walk outside, happen to die, they can't come back. That it's just a instant fail state, and they're like, "Well, what was I supposed to have done?" I think if you would have had the priest inside the main town, and then have someone obviously say the priest will offer your services for those who have like met their end or something like that. That way the player know, all right, if they die, that's what I got to do. A little early, right? Don't spread it out, make it up the hill, and then what if they never go up the hill? Because I went, the first town I went to was the small town where the guy's like, it's such a small town and stuff. That's where I went. I didn't even go up there, and then I went back, and then I went up, and I don't know. Go ahead.
So the developer is clearly using, old retro mechanic, RPG save mechanic, where what game? There's plenty of games where, well, Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior is one for certain, where the priest saves, revives, heal. Most is at a cost. That's the discipline. That's the and whatnot. And you have the book where you could save. If I'm not mistaken, there's another method you could save in this game. I think it's a statue. I could be wrong. And but I don't think I am. I think this one heals your MP, heals your magic points, and it heals you, and you could save the game. I think it just heals your magic point. But anyway, the thing is, if you're not talking to everybody, and what I've done, and this is how I knew early on, and maybe this is probably where Psychronic made the mistake. He didn't talk to everybody. He maybe didn't go into every house, but once you talk to the elder, he gives, he tells you to go inside the basement and take what you need. He tells you about the save mechanic, right? The problem is there's no book in there. Wouldn't it make sense to have a book inside that elder's house where you can save? the game after giving that brief tutorial. Because in all honesty, I may be mistaken. I don't think there's a save book anywhere in the first town.
No, the first one should be in your bedroom, right? Like, because it could be like your journal or whatever, right? Like that would make the most sense. The first room you start out in, that way you know what you need, right? Like you have the ink and the pen and the book right there, and you have enough to save once, and then you realize you got to get more to save. You know, that would be better, I think.
Yeah, I think the developers should just look at what the purpose is for that. Might not need that mechanic at all, in my opinion. Which I mean, traditionally, well, I would say some games allow you to just save on a world map. You know, you can save right there in the menu on the world map. I don't know, like it's because it's not really preventing, I don't know, save scumming or save like, you know, you want to just fight a battle, then you save. I don't know. You got it. I think it's more of it becomes an issue of the player's time and whether you want to, you know, preserve that time or use it in some sort of way. And this is just kind of unnecessarily kind of padding it.
I think he want to stay retro as much as he could, because saving anywhere at any time is a new age mechanic. You know, this developer try to stay as retro as he can, and most of the games of the past, you actually had to, you know, call upon an event to actually save, whether it's a priest or a book or whatnot.
But even these older games had like had save points, but they were free, right? They weren't like expensive.
I mean,
but I'm even fine. Yeah, me personally, I'm even fine with the save at the save at the priest mechanic, right? But then you got to think like, it's coming down to your audience and time, and you know, we call it like what do you call it? The state of the time. What am I trying to say? Modern, just life is very hectic, and a lot of things are competing for your time. Having that convenience will likely keep you playing the game. It might make you return to the game. It's kind of like an attraction mechanic at this point. You have to make that compromise whether you want to be very retro or do you want to modernize just a bit so that your player is going to continue to play the game.
So how?
There was a manual, SG Harlequin. There was a manual, and it talked about left and right and keys and stuff, but I don't think it talked about the save mechanic in
that. And that manual I found it after I found like my third character, right? And I already been in battle, but it's telling me like press up and down to move and stuff like that.
So I ran into that too. Like you get like a combat tutorial after you've already been through like 8 or 9 fights, and then
you get the combat tutorial when you get the female character, one of the female characters, the fourth one, and I mean it was the fourth character for me, and it's just like things are getting done disjointedly. I don't even want to say out of order, it was just disjointedly. So it was bound to be out of order for other people. Maybe if I went right instead of left, it would have been in some sort of order or something.
Yep.
So
when I was playing, I went the wrong way quite a bit, and it just kind of like burned up my time. And the save part, like if I was playing a game and it was like I had been playing for like an hour and was like wanting to save but couldn't find how to save and stuff, it just would make me be like, I don't want to play this anymore. So I think that having just easier to save would be like a really big win. And as Marlon was saying, like modern era, your time, there's a lot of things taking up your time. And I actually wanted to go on the adventure. I wanted the adventure to happen, but it was just that was a punishing mechanic that kind of hindered my fun in the adventure, right? So just my thoughts on that. That was like the biggest problem with the game, as far as I could tell, was that save mechanic. But
so I heard you mention the word fun. So you actually play games to have fun, or you just play games? Okay.
I sincerely want to have fun with every game that I play.
Okay, I didn't think we played games for fun. I think we just play games by nature.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, humans do that, but I'm just saying that, like, I want to have fun when I'm playing a game. Yeah.
So to the developer's defense, the developer designed this game for advanced players, people that already know how to play RPGs.
Well, you know what might be a little bit better than a tutorial after you already started is like actually have them say some stuff like as characters to each other, like in battle, and like it makes the combat feel more like you would care about the characters more if you give them a little more character and like personality, you know. And you don't even have to have it be a tutorial. You could just be like, you know, what took you so long? Oh, I was, you know, that they say something to each other that, you know, makes them endearing or whatever. That might be a little better, in my opinion.
And this is a funny part, right? We are given the battle tutorial after we've been in battles.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, you know, you get the manual after you already played the game. You know, like after you already moved around, interacted with people, talked to people, had combat use. I don't know, like, so it's funny how the game's supposed to be for more experienced players, but I honestly think like no game should be like that. You know, just period, because who knows what experienced player is to the developer? Who knows what experienced player is to the player? They might be like, well, I played one RPG, does that make me experienced? I've played 5, does that make me experienced? Right? I played the most modern RPGs that have these more lifetime saving mechanics, does that even make me experienced? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I just think like, I'm not sure this game had that pass of so maybe like somebody's got to play this to give the developer like their experience and let them know like if they had these sort of struggles, right? And I don't know, I got that vibe that it hasn't had that type of pass. Maybe some folks picked it up, maybe some folks even commented about how they liked what they liked about it, but I just feel like it didn't have that, hey, let me know what you think. How hard was it for you to get to X, you know, X time, X part of the game?
Now, I get where the developer is trying to go with the game, but at the same time, when your player's playing this game, he's going to feel some kind of way. How you guys felt playing this game? Like what was your mental state?
My main mental state when playing this game was frustration.
Okay, but no, let me take it back to when you first cut the game on.
Okay.
Right?
All right, come on.
When I saw the title screen, I got excited. I'm talking about
me too. Me too.
I ain't even had to see the title screen. I saw the screenshots on
so you saw like what it could be the battle, but I'm talking about fresh, because I seen your gameplay before I fired it up for myself.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to talk from like I'm a kid, just put the game in, you know, and I'm like experiencing it, right? I saw the title screen. I was like, look at this nice little title screen. I can't wait to start the game. So I start the game, got the little cutscene and everything. Like I said, I like that with the,
which was all good. Yeah, that part was great.
Yep. It got me more enticed, more optimistic about what I was getting ready to experience. And then they let you control your character fairly early. Your mom says some stuff, talk to your dad before you leave. Some also, I roll out, But immediately I still feel that little bit of sluggishness. I ignore it because I'm like, this little retro feel. Listen to the music. It got that retro vibe. Look at the art. It got that retro art. It's a retro vibe. I don't care if I'm walking slow. I get outside. I don't even know where my dad at, so I assume he outside. Like I leave the whole house, and because I'm like, I want to say, I guess she told me to say bye to my dad. Let me go find my dad, but he outside already, and he said something about go say bye to your mother. But I was just talking to my mother, so I don't even go back in the house. I'm like, she all right, she already know I'm leaving, right?
But you should have went and talked. See, this the thing. You went back and talked to her. She will remind you to get your allowance.
All right, see, I ain't know stuff like that. I ended up
then you get money.
I did find that things. Right, because I just, you know, like old RPGs, I just press enter on every object I saw as I was moving along. And after I found my first member, I went back into the house, probably like the 18th time that I went to sleep in my bed. I just pressed enter, and I found the money on the top of the stove.
Mantle, yeah. Okay.
So, but I immediately became a little aimless as I traversed through the town. The town is pretty large for the map, to be honest, right? And at the pace you rolling at, I got how every member of the town was kind of trying to teach you something, and I thought that was cool, right? They say talk to me again and something, you know, something, and it's I'm still getting those old Dragon Quest vibes, right? So I know what I'm into. I'm like, okay, he go tell me something, so I go talk to the lady that tell you to go talk to the thing in the grass, and you get a star piece, and you know, I'm like, all right, I'm putting it together. I go outside. And low-key, something happened in my game. I had to start the game all the way over because I couldn't save it. I forgot what I did, but I had to start the whole game all the way over. But I got to the point where I had checked out every house. I opened up the brown chest, but realized I couldn't open the red chest. Wandered around and stuff like that. I don't think I game over, but damn, I wish I would have wrote that down. Let me see. Check my notes. All right, all that to say, I was very optimistic, and I was hopeful about the game, and I was like excited to play like what it had on offer. I like the colors and the sounds and stuff like that. But like Psychronic said, frustration then set in when I realized that I was very restricted in MP battles. I was missing a lot. And like I was ready to be honest, I was ready to deal with all that stuff. I was like, well, I guess I might as well go get me a new sword. Might as well go level myself up. Like I'm about this stuff. It takes too many fights to level up. To be honest, like too much. Combat is like right there in between, just right, but still kind of slow. Because if you want somebody to grind, you gotta at least let my attacks hit. Or something, right? So I just, it's like disjointed, and that's why I keep going back to, I hope somebody played it so they could give that criticism, so they could literally just do some maneuvering of the placement of the characters, the map, and some of the NPCs that's supposed to guide you to make that experience funner, right? Because it can be done. I feel like with what it is there, it can definitely be done. So, and then it was just frustration from there. I feel like just complete. I'm frustrated talking to the people. I had to go to the different towns over and over. I could not find the torch I was supposed to find because they say you're supposed to buy one at the shop. I couldn't buy one because the girl sitting outside the actual shop was not selling one. You go inside the shop. The guy, I mean, I didn't think I had to open up. I had to interact with the supposedly locked red chest again for Leon to be like, let me pick this lock, and then I get the torch. I just found out today because Psychronic told me to do it. I was like,
yeah, because what happened when I played it was I went first I played the game, and I went out of order. I got one friend but not the other at the temple, and I went all the way to the cave because I thought that so and so had already gone ahead. I get all the way to the cave. It turns out you don't even run into so and so who went ahead until you get the guy at the temple. Now I got my two friends. Now I go and get the last character, then you go to the cave, then you enter the cave, and it's like, oh, it's too dark. We need to go back to the town to get the torch at the shop. You go back to the shop. There is no torch to buy or whatever. You talk with the chest, and there's like some kind of joke or something like, wouldn't you like to know what's in there? And then I'm like, okay, I guess I can't open the chest. And then I try to like go to the other towns to see if there's like another shop. And then there isn't. And then I come back to that shop again. I'm like, no, I know it's back at the shop. And then I talk to the chest again, and then it opens with the torch. And it's just like, it was like torch. It was kind of like a mini torture of frustration with some of the stuff in this that I think is easily fixable. I actually think that if you fix some of these things, the game would be a lot more fun.
You want to know what hurt almost just as much as not being able to find that torch? All right, aside from the saving and shit, having to try to find some ink and all that, aside from that, did you talk to the NPC that tell you that you can be like a different class if when you hit level 10?
Yeah.
I just realized that sinking feeling that I would never hit level 10. I'm just like never going to hit. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, if it's hard for me to get level 4, imagine level 10 is like,
oh my god,
such a future thought. Like, that's just like, all right. Anyway, it's just like so. So Annoyed Nova did just put something in the chat. He said, "How much control do you have over the growth and customization of your party? Did all three of you have the exact same builds?" Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. There's no growth. I mean, there's growth.
Like they get level up very slowly, and then they get some skills, when they level up. But
and I'm all right with that because.
But I couldn't use the skills because I would always run out of MP.
Hold on, guys. Somebody at my door. I'll be back.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just
go ahead and keep talking.
Right. So I'm all right with the lack of customization in the beginning because you have to learn how to play their game. I feel like it's okay to be a beginner in these RPG games because you kind of got to understand how their game works. So you don't have that option, but it also didn't seem like the option would be there. Maybe if you find a book and that you can do, and I remember Final Fantasy or whatever, the old retro Final Fantasies, you could find a book and give the book to somebody, bink, and then they have a skill or whatever. So hopefully, but I don't know because I didn't get that far.
The customization and stuff, I didn't see much of it. It looked pretty basic. It didn't really bother me though. It was just that the things I needed to do to continue the adventure kept leading me back to the town. And I couldn't. I really wanted to progress, but it was really hard to, because in order to you don't want to get too far to where you don't have a save point and you don't have enough items or you don't have enough MP to heal. And the inn had a fixed price. It didn't keep going up each time, but the priest kept charging more to save. So it kept leading me back to the town, and it was just really kind of frustrating. And then when I finally did get to the cave, because I just grinded and stacked up the money, then I went to the cave and I went all the way through it, and then I know that there's about to be a boss fight. I fight the bandits, no problem. I know there's about to be a boss fight, and you're in a room where you can save because there's the piece of paper, and it's like, if only I had something to write this with, and I didn't have a pen, and I'm like, God damn it! And then I go next, and then I die at the boss, and then that was like another hour that I lost. That I have to go all the way back, and so that was when I quit. That was when I quit.
Damn, that's painful, man. I feel like so Annoyed Noverse mentioned. So then my next question is, can I get the same experience playing the game myself as I can watching a playthrough? The playthrough is going to be long. I feel like in the beginning, it's going to be the same. So you could watch it. They might go and get their characters in a different order, but other than that, they may or may not talk to a certain NPC. But it looks like, as far as I know, I haven't figured out how to open up the red chests in any other fashion. Only that special one red chest that you're supposed to open It's really weird talking about this game the way I guess we're talking about it, because it seems like a lot of things are very enticing about this game, but it falls short in some very weird ways. And you just wonder, like, why use this method? Why put the torch in the hardest place to find it? You know what I mean? When you want people to play your game and progress, maybe a challenge like that, where it's like a more mental challenge, or more like what do you call it, like a pay attention to detail, sift through all of the BS type of challenge. That's like where you lock certain secrets at, right? Like certain hidden things, not like the main, I can't progress through the story without finding this torch. Somebody said you can't find the torch anymore. Yeah, and I was thinking, like, we can't craft a torch, we can't find a torch, we can't beat somebody up, take a torch, we can't ask somebody for a torch, and it's like, I don't know. I keep, like I said, I keep circling back to, did this developer reach out and get some input, because they might have had a really special product here, right, where all the folks that are nostalgia like myself to medieval RPGs, they get to have a good time. They get to reminisce on how things were kind of tough and kind of jank. However, you still got to be mindful, like, hey, don't you want this player to actually beat your game, right? So you got to be thinking about like those mechanics and like figure out, okay, I know modern, old retro games ain't had this, but I think if I had this, it would help them, right? Yep, and get that input from multiple people, because maybe you don't want to have customizable characters and stuff like that. Maybe it's like a whole story and you just kind of do what you can with what you have, but focusing on fun, focusing on ease of use, I think that goes a long way. I think the music and the sound and the presentation is already enough to really get somebody excited. I like the simple menus where when you're in battle, it's like a short messages and stuff like that.
It looks really good. Like it's like very, like, presentation wise, that would be, I mean, like, I don't know if we're talking about that now or if we're still on gameplay, but I just want to say that I think that it was presented very well. However, as Marlon was saying, it falls short in some very strange ways, like compared to what it could be.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some things just ain't make no freaking sense. Let me go ahead. It's just ain't make no sense, and this is what I'm gonna say. I was frustrated. At first, if you watch my stream, I was good at first. I would have, oh, this is cool. I like this. I like the exploration. I like, finding hidden items. I like discovering, getting new things. That's good and dandy. But soon as those battles happen, go down the window. I probably missed 5 different times in a row.
Miss.
Then the characters, the lack of skills is a problem for me too. Right? You have a sorceress. Think about it now. Think about the setting. We're kids about to go on a hunt, about to go on the treasure hunt, right?
How y'all kids? Y'all gotta be like, I don't know, right there, 17 something, because that one girl down there naked walking around like that.
I'm just saying. I mean,
young adults.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we're probably almost adults, and we're a sorceress, we're a priest, we're a soldier and an archer. No skills for 2 of the battlers, right? For the soldier and the archer, there's no skills. So it's just attack with them. Now they have, instead of defend, there's like special mechanics. Like I think the priest has bless, which raises your accuracy, right? Then your archer has grit, which raises his HP by 10, right? For that battle. Well, it restores his HP by 10. Everybody else got defend. It got defend, right? The mechanics just don't make any sense. Like the battles and the random encounters, it's not balanced enough to where the lack, you got a priest, but the lack of healing restoration MP items is non-existent. I think I only got one. One was given to me while playing the game. You know, you get that before the Mad Cow boss, I believe.
Yes, it's called Fizz.
Yeah,
like
Fizz.
Make Fizz like available at the shop or something.
Yeah, then you get another one. You could buy the Fizz, but it costs 200 gold. You hear me?
That's crazy. 200 gold.
200 gold.
200 gold. You
Right.
get 8 gold per battle. Yeah.
Right. So you get 200 gold for the Fizz. That's the only time you'll be able to restore. You either get lucky, you found that restoration lake inside the dungeon, because the game do say, you know, look out for those lakes and drink from them. You know, they got healing properties.
And I like that. I like that about
That's
the
cool.
game.
That's
Little
cool.
stuff,
That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool though. But this is the problem. You use it, you walk 5 steps, get in the random encounter, you fight the enemy, you miss all your attacks, but they're landing their attacks. Where are you going back to?
Back to that lake.
You going back to that lake regardless of what you do.
Dang.
You see what I'm saying? Even if you're trying to make your game frustrated and hard, there's better ways to do it.
Yeah.
This way isn't the way to do it, because after a while the battles just get boring and repetitive.
Yes.
You know, you just got attack. The sorceress has good ability. Well, they got ice, they got the fire ability, the ice ability, and they got a taunt ability.
Hey, let me tell you about that taunt. Look, I was playing with mouse, right, for the beginning of the game. I don't know why, because I was just so hung up on the sluggishness. I was literally doing the click so my guys could walk because my fingers were cramping up. I was mistakenly pressing taunt too many times on Elion, man. She kept using it, and she got herself killed. It was so frustrating because I'm like, she already weak, bro. I keep messing it up and clicking the wrong button.
Like, why would you give her that ability anyway?
I don't know. I was like, make it make
sense. Make it make
it's a
sense.
pitfall. It's a
Please
pitfall on
explain.
purpose,
Please
right?
explain to me, why would you get a sorceress with a defense score of maybe 5, a taunt ability, and we know taunt wants all
It's
enemies to hit you.
yeah, right.
It's her allure and shit.
Hey, look
Yeah.
at her HP, 26.
So the lowest defense and the lowest HP, but I'm gonna make all the enemies attack me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like, let me tell you why. I know it don't make sense, D7, but let me tell you why I liked it, right?
Okay, why? Please make it make
That's
sense.
that's the premise at which you pick her up, right? Basically, she attracted monsters, right? And she attract a monster, and she gets stuck in one, and you got to save her out of it. So it's almost like hinting to like that's her problem, right? Like in a way. So I guess it's like I could see that they was probably trying to introduce a explicit pitfall in the battle system. Like if you did this, you would lose. Like she would die because you saw she got stuck last time. You had to save her. I don't know. That's me trying to kind of make something out of this because I felt like
in the way hinting towards that do kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
because she is the one, you know, was fighting the slime. Then she was the one that got the attention of the guards and stuff. So maybe that is a fail-safe skill of hers.
Yeah, like so, and this is why I like the rawness of traditional RPGs, right? So like, whether she like it or not, that's her skill. You might have a skill that could attract birds, right? And then you might attract the wrong bird, and that shit peck your head. So you know what I mean? So stupid stuff like that. Like, but that's the skills you have available to you, right?
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess that's the vibe. I try to make
about it, and now realizing that's her. She's supposed to be the the annoyed character. Mm-hmm. It kind of makes sense. I could roll with that. That reasoning. The question is, do the developer knows that?
Yeah, and then apparently she could pick locks. I'm like, I ain't know that.
She can't pick locks because you go to the red. This is what I thought, right?
You could pick one lock.
I thought since I got her in my party, I could go to the red treasure boxes and open it. But apparently she doesn't do it. She said, I wanted what's inside. That's all she said against the different red boxes. I wanted what's inside. So
right.
So the mechanics is designed for you to maybe get stronger, get a little bit of experience points inside of a dungeon until you're forced to leave to go save, you know, rinse and repeat until you're at a certain level and stuff like that. I think that's the design of the game in the beginning. Now, it's safe to say that this game isn't for a new player. It is not for a new player because how frustrating it is. If a new player is going to play an RPG and they play this for the first game, they're going to be like, is all RPGs like this? I'm never playing an RPG game ever again. Or is it bad design because it's made in RPG Maker? The random encounters, the miss, you know, the accuracy. Why do I need to do a bless skill with the priest to guarantee a hit? And that doesn't even work all the time either, because I did bless, it still miss and miss and miss and miss. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. So
yeah, I just think all this criticism, I'm just wishing, like, I'm just wondering, like, if I keep going back to that, right? Like, because this is stuff that could easily get picked out, right? Like, and this game, the design, I don't know if everything is custom, but it's just like, it feels, the retro is almost like you hit the nail on the head. And yes. It's like, I like it. I like the ugly, like, grass and the ugly, you know, like little random images on the ground. You don't know what it is. You just go press enter on it, right? Like, and it ended up being something, I don't know, like silly stuff like that. I feel like the vibe was caught. I caught the vibe, but you know, as soon as you start playing it for a while, you start falling into like that void of like frustration. And I'm like, that, I don't think that was the goal, you know?
He did say that he did meant for this game to be difficult. That's the goal.
Difficult and frustrating
are different.
It's different.
Yeah, I like games. I like games that are hard too, for sure. But not like this.
It seems more like a chore, and when you're fighting enemies, you're only getting what I think you fight the 3 bats. You get 1 experience point each bat. Mm-hmm. But they're doing they're taking more than half your health every time you get in a fight. So you're not. It's not. There's nothing rewarding about the battles. When you level up, you thinking you're getting stronger, you know, to the point where you could maybe kill them in one hit. But that's not the case in this game. It don't even feel like your stats are going up when you level up, to be honest. It's just your HP go up, but your attack and stuff, it seems like it stays the same.
Yeah, I couldn't confirm it, but I think if you have less party members, you get more experience. I think the experience
about that
of the characters, I think the experience gets spread amongst all the members in the party. Like if 2 people kill the 2 slimes, you get 8 each. That's 16. But if all 4 of them kill 2 slimes, they get 4 each. So I might be right about that. Because I remember, like, I only had 2 characters and I left and I got into a battle, 2 slimes, and I was like, oh, they got 8 each. It's almost rewarding, like, soloing it, but at the same time, you're not going to really win. Yeah, he's mentioned they spread EXP. Yep, so I say, I mean, the thing is, you can't kick people out of your party, so I don't think you should have that. If you want to focus on leveling up a person, maybe there's an advantage to something like that. If you want to challenge yourself, like, hey, I'm just, you know,
even when you level up, you don't really learn jack. You learn a healing spell with a knight that could probably cast at one time, and that's it.
Yeah, that was that. I just think maybe the opportunity to have more flexible like classes, like, hey, maybe you find an apple, a golden apple, or whatever, a blue apple, you give it to the knight and he got 1 more 8 MP.
We need better skills, man.
Yeah,
we need better skills. The priest is fine, the archer needs some skills, maybe an accuracy hit, you know,
or maybe like an arrow flurry that hits all enemies or something.
Well, I mean, I'm okay with not having the AoE skills in the beginning of the game. You know, that could come towards later in the game when, you know, when there's more mobs, when they're harder and stuff like that.
Or 2 random shots.
But
two random shots, and maybe it'll hit 2 different enemies. Maybe it'll hit the same one twice. You know, something like that.
And we know accuracy is a problem in this game. So give us a character that, you know, that never miss. You know, a skill that never miss. If you look at the screen right now, you would see more misses than more attacks, than more land. Like real talk. Like even the games of the past, you don't miss like that.
Yeah, I agree. I ain't think missing would be such an issue, but
it is.
I did go to like one weapon shop and it was like, the weapon I was going to buy, just it explicitly stated that it was bad. And I was like, all right, well, is it better than what I got? And that's what I couldn't find out. So I don't even know if I should have bought that. So I didn't buy it. So I just dealt with the missing weapon I initially had, which I could tell was bad because I was using it. So you stuck between a rock and a hard place with the shopping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't know what is stronger and whatnot. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Also in this cave, is this intentional? Like, is this floor, is there not supposed to be a floor in the cave?
What you mean?
You mean like on the battle screen?
Yeah. Is it supposed to just be a black screen, or is that?
I don't know. I'm thinking it's like, I'm guessing.
I think it's intentional to give it a retro feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad. But.
Right.
But the cave, what about the cave level design? Do you like it?
It felt really maze-like, and also you've got limited light around you, so you really can't see much. It's really just kind of like groping in the dark, kind of.
But make this make sense though. Make this make sense. What about when you found the thieves' hideout?
When you find the thieves' hideout, it's actually totally fully lit, like it's sunny outside.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What? Like they made it out the cave or something?
Yeah.
No, it's inside the cave.
It's inside the cave, but you don't have a torch mechanic no more. You don't have a torch emulation anymore. It's like bright.
Like fully
Maybe-
bright.
Yeah,
Maybe
you can
it's
see
a,
everything.
Maybe there's a hole in the ceiling or something.
Come on, bro.
Like, I don't know.
Come on. Yeah, crazy. But like I told the developer, and I really feel like this game has a lot of potential, but what's holding it back for me is the combat, and not just only the combat. I was able to play a little bit more further than some of you guys. It's just the direction of what to do next is so messed up. Like when you rescue the cow, you are told to go to the castle to see the king, right? You go to the castle to see the king ain't there. The king is away praying. So you gotta go back to the priest. You'll see the king. The next thing you know, Elion makes a dialogue saying, what about if we go and rescue the daughter herself? So you go back to the castle. There's a freaking boat. The king's ship. You talk to the guard. You ask the guard, can you use the ship? He tells you no. But little be known, you have to. There's one tile where you could talk to the ship to steal the ship. If not, you don't know you're supposed to talk to the ship. There's no hint for you to talk to the ship. So you gotta talk to the ship to steal the ship. You steal the ship because the princess is in the water temple. The princess is in the water temple, and the only way to get there is by ship. That's the only way to get there. So you get the ship, you steal the ship, you sell all, and this is the weird thing. It auto runs a couple steps down from the castle. Then lo and behold, your party steps out the boat. Instead of staying in the boat, which encourages the player to keep maneuvering the boat down south. But no, it goes 2 to 3 steps, then you're out the boat like you're not supposed to be in there. What the heck? Then you find the place that's down south, the water temple, and now apparently you can't get by there because it says royal members are only allowed, and now I'm stuck. Don't know what to do. Been everywhere, sail everywhere, been to this town, been to that town. Like, I'm freaking lost. Like, I'm lost, like really lost. I was playing for two hours trying to figure out where to go.
That sounds tough, D7. I guess you're just not good at RPG games.
I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, man,
You definitely better than us though, because you at least you made it to get the grace of the cast, the king. So I guess pat yourself on the back for that.
But see, here we are, fully bright.
If you get the developer says this: if you keep talking to the people outside the temple, you get the key. Like, what kind of design is that?
Hold on, what? So hold on, the chat is going crazy. Annoyed Nova just said in all caps RPG game. Square Pillow Games, sorry, yeah, we conflated the battle section into gameplay, so maybe we can revisit that in a sec. What's triggering you, Annoyed Nova? This fall fails on so many of those levels. Yeah. So we can agree. I don't think.
Go ahead.
But I don't think I want. I don't think I need hand holding, me personally. But I think that's like you start, but I think you should hold the player's hand for a little bit because they might be a new player. Like, you got to understand, like, they might not be like me, who's played all the old games. So you got to hold their hand a little bit, but then let it go. So ideally, right, they should have had like town 1, town 2, cave, castle, like kind of all lined up. So like, first town, that's where you're born at or whatever. Maybe you pick up your first guy. Second town, that's where the church at, the inn at. Then some things cost money and crap, right? Then you go to the cave. And then right after you come out the cave, the next place that you could probably go is wherever they're going to say, good job, now go to the castle. After that, then you open up the world and then the player can get confused. That's what I think,
Like, I don't mind getting lost here and there, right? But when you figuring that you're on the right track and now you're thrown a ball to a different direction, it's like, what the heck, man? What am I supposed to do?
I also don't mind getting lost, but with the save mechanic specifically, I have to go back to that one. It kind of made me feel like I was taking too much of a risk to explore and get lost because I only had limited resources and I had to keep coming back. So there's a couple confounding variables here. So I don't know.
So just to touch on the battles, somebody asked, right? Like, I think we mentioned that, okay, as far as the characters, their MP is very restrictive, so it inhibits their options in battle. Attacking is tough because you miss often. The team seems like they have roles, but they don't necessarily support each other. Like the knight Gaz, he has defend, but he only defend himself. The wizard has fire, but she has an ability that can attract a monster, get itself killed. The healer obviously is a healer, so you can heal anybody in the party. But that's pretty straightforward as it is. And then the archer just has the archer ability, which looks pretty cool as far as an animation is concerned. Visually, I think it's very unique. It's not necessarily unique, but I think the custom nature of it and the direct direction of the retro style makes it an attractive game. It doesn't look necessarily like the out-of-the-box RPG Maker game. So I think there's a lot of attraction there. It looks cool, and the battle system is very simple. So it's not a lot of action sequences, not a lot of skills. The characters don't have that many skills, but I like the custom art, and I think that's pretty much it. Unless you guys want to add something more on battle system.
So the developers, he said that I must talk to, what he say? Sorry guys, hold on. Let me go back to the comment. If you keep talking to the people outside the temple, you get the key. So, how many of us play RPG games where you actually talk to all the NPCs?
I will try to talk to them at least once, but I typically won't like re-talk to them again after I got the initial line, because typically they don't actually do or say different things when you talk to them twice, like on average most of the games.
So now I have see this is the thing, right? He just said the princess in the cabin, you have to talk to her until the dialogue is used up. That means I gotta keep talking to her. I haven't been to an event or been told, or what if I missed that initial NPC that keeps saying, keep talking to me to get different dialogue? If I haven't experienced that, I'm going to assume that each NPC has one dialogue and that's it.
See, what we're discussing right now is called a soft game over, where you miss so much of the game. The game isn't over, but you can't progress because you
Like
don't know that one nuanced thing you were supposed to have done.
I don't know that. Like, if I knew that, talk to all NPCs more than once to get, you know, if it was thrown in my face, because not everybody talks to everybody in RPG. They just maybe talk to a few NPCs, go to the shops, go to the inns, and move on and do quests.
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah, the NPCs should be used to.
It should be
you know,
one dialogue stream, but that's still the same thing. Like, I'm told to go to a temple, you know, and I did talk to a few of the if I'm not mistaken, I believe they were fairy. It was something, man. It was like wizard. It was wizard looking guys or something, and
Staff.
And I'm like, you know what? I think I need to go back. Maybe go search the castle some more for this royal thing. I don't know.
Yeah, my thing is, when you want to make a retro game of some sort, I'm guessing, right? You target probably some classic games, and you kind of pick up on their vibe. But what I would also challenge the developer to do is look at the constraints that those developers in the past had to work within. You know, like we can only type so many letters on the screen, so you know the words came out like this. We only had so many megabytes of RAM, so we could only display something like this, right? They actually had those struggles, so they couldn't really probably elaborate on some sort of clues and stuff like that. And then maybe they had to find innovative ways to create challenges. So you take that into account when you want to, make a game like this, right? Because it's like, do I continue to use that because it was a constraint, or do I create the world in a way that the player has to deal with this constraint, but I help them? One thing I noticed about the map was, okay, I can't run. Back in the day in the retro games, you couldn't run, but the map was so large, it took me a long time to move around or do anything. So I wasn't motivated to go anywhere. In the older games, the maps was little, bro. You could walk into town and then probably go 10 squares and leave the town. You know what I'm saying? So it was smaller. Houses were smaller, right? You go in, see if there's anybody in there, roll out, right? So it was easy for the player to investigate because it was easier to just, I guess, interact with the game under its constraints. So I'm sorry, I keep retro ranting at this point.
So what would we rate the gameplay as?
Hey, I'm gonna give it a 6 because vibe is really what's holding it up for me, and I know that's part of presentation. Mm-hmm. But I know that inversely, part of the presentation is creating that really jank gameplay. So I liked it to an extent, but it's it's still unrefined. Where I would say have other people play it to give you their input, and then take that input to an account, and then you can probably put it through that retro gaming filter. What y'all think?
For the gameplay, I would give it a 5. It can go quite a bit higher though if they fix some of the what I perceive as design flaws in the gameplay that hinder the fun of having fun as far as I can tell. So yeah, all the stuff we talked about, all the different mechanics and stuff, if some of that stuff was fixed, it would have been a lot less frustrating and it would have been a lot more fun. But as it currently stands for me, it would be a 5.
The great mystery in the game, especially an RPG game, this game is full of it, full of mysteries, and it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. The weapons, you don't know what they're gonna do. If you go to the shop, you know, there's no indications saying this is a stronger weapon, but one axe says, oh yeah, high crit, but great chance to miss. Why would I want to buy that? Why the heck would I want to buy that if we're
Maybe
missing
you had the
like crazy
the skill. Maybe you get the skill where you can 100% hit and you cast it on. Maybe you get super blessed. And
Yeah,
you know,
maybe, but I ain't taking that chance, and that's 40 gold. I barely have any gold as it is.
Yeah,
it's an expensive place to live.
But the game started off right. Like it's the game. It's the games that I like, and like I told the developer, my only really main problem is, you know, the battle system just don't make any sense to me. You know, I like the sprites, I like the battlers, you know, it looks cool,
but that's,
you know,
presentation.
I see the potential that this game has, but as a player, you know, you become really frustrated when you're thinking you're moving and advancing and leveling up. That's the purpose of level up. When you level up, you should feel like you're getting stronger. In this game, you don't feel like you're getting stronger. So why do we have levels if you don't feel like you're getting stronger? The enemy's still doing the same amount of damage. They still could kill you, you know, in one hit. I mean, not one hit, but yeah, they could still beat you up pretty bad where you're forced to go back to town or forced to go back to that lake and restore. So you're going to be doing a lot of forward tracking and backtracking in this game, you know, and the put grain on, you know, salt on the wound. When you beat the mad cow, you already frustrated about, you know what I mean, getting to where you're going. And now you have to worry about walking back to the entrance after beating the boss. What if you don't have any healing items? What if you wasted everything during the boss? Now you're stuck, potentially dying while making your way out the cave.
With no way to save.
With no way, I mean, I don't think you would want to save in that cave if you have to walk your way out. Now, the game doesn't really give you any quality of life features. I get that. It's a retro game. Back in the day, we didn't have that. We didn't have quality of life features like we did now, like zoom and fast travel and all that. You had to do it, you know, you had to do it step by step. I respect that. But at the same time, you gotta make it make sense. You gotta make it, you know, a bit convenient for your player, so your player can have decision making. Right now, the combat is full of RNG. Like, there's nothing I can do, nothing I can really plan, because I can only do my skills so many times. Right? I can only do my skills so many times before I run out of magic points. Now, without having a way to restore my magic points, I don't want to do any skills because I need to save my magic points. So all I'm doing is attack. I probably did attacks probably 500 times before I went to the boss. Out of 500 times, I probably landed 100 hits out of 500. That's a lot. The ratio is low. If I was a boxer, I would have had a bad record. If I was a boxer, I'm missing all these hits. But other than that, the music definitely gets you hyped up. It keeps you up, you know, make you want to keep playing the game and stuff like that. But I just feel like The game was designed to annoy the player more to give them some satisfaction. Because do you actually feel like you're gaining and winning even though you're already frustrated? Don't get me wrong, you're frustrated as heck. Marlon said he was frustrated. Psychronic said he was frustrated. You guys saw me, I was frustrated. But the game it looks good.
It looks good.
It looks good. But at the same time, am I playing the game just to look good? Or am I playing the game, you know, for fun? Do I want to have a good time playing the game? Right now, I'm in between right now because the developer is telling me what should be obvious, but it's not obvious. If that makes any sense. It's not obvious to me because now I have to do other things and extra stuff than normally what I didn't think I would have to do in order to play this game, because it wasn't really shown to be, you know, in the beginning, where your beginning should be your tutorial page. But in all fairness, you know, the little manual that we got is basically just tell you about the stats and stuff like that. Then you get a hint from the priest. You can ask the priest for a hint, and he tells you the same hint over and over and over and over. He don't tell you no new hints. But I get that, you know, there's things that the player does have to figure out on their own. And eventually I did figure it out. Don't get me wrong, I did figure it out. And I'm not expecting this game to be, you know, a linear game where you could just do one thing, go do the next, just like that without having to use your noggin. I get that. You know, you do use your noggin in this game. But my main thing is the combat. The combat need to be revamped. I don't care how hard you try to make it. I think missing is not hard combat. And to be honest, the combat isn't, the enemies ain't hard. The enemies ain't hard at all. It's just missing. Then having to go back and restore. That's the hard part. But everything else isn't hard. You know what I'm saying? It's just that. So gameplay wise, and I am intrigued about reaching level 10, learning new skills and all that stuff. That's all good and dandy. So I think I would give this game for gameplay, I would give it a 6.5. Hold on, did the audio go out?
No.
Oh, okay, y'all just silence.
No, my bad. So you got a 5, 6, and a 6.5.
Yeah, I get it 6.5.
Yeah, and I think like we didn't rate presentation, but I think throughout the entire podcast review, we talked about the presentation because I think that was the one thing that was kind of like
that's what it had going. That's what it had going for it. That yeah, like the presentation was really good. Like when I fired it up, I immediately thought this was going to be a really high quality game.
Yeah,
like surprisingly so. You know, that and then I got bogged down in the gameplay with the issues that we've been talking about. But and then also I didn't get a lot of depth with the characters or the story as I was going along either. So
you wanted to see more boobies. That's what you wanted.
But the actual like sprites are really good. The actual like way it looks is good. It looks like a professional game.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, these are the problems we talked about they're pretty easily fixable, and I think it would make a big difference. For presentation, I would give this like an 8 personally, like to its overall presentation or my impression of what it feels like it is when I look at the game. I would give the presentation an 8 personally.
Yeah, I'm up there too. I think I remember when if you pull it off, the little first guy does a counterattack, his shield actually glints like a shine. And I noticed that little detail. And what's her name? Elion, her idle stance is her breasts are bouncing up and down. I noticed that detail. Little stuff like that. I think yeah, man, I don't know like what's custom, what's bought, but like, hey, it all like kind of works. So I like that much about it. So,
yeah, it definitely had that retro feel for sure, and I like the retro feel. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said in the chat, now this does not look like an RPG game. Why X eyes? I don't know what that. I don't know how to say screen name.
6X.
6X. Oh, that's smart. Okay. Yeah. Why you think it don't look like RPG made? It daggone sure do too. Somebody else said they like the chibi sprites compared to the battle sprites. I think that's cool too. They translate the little walking guy to like the fighting guy. So yeah.
I believe 6S is a Unity coder.
Oh, okay.
And they're artists as well. So
that's cool.
They got little bragging rights.
That's cool. Hey, share your game so we can play that joint. Hopefully it's fun. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because we're not totally locked down to RPG Maker games for sure at this point, but it's just where we kind of where our roots are from, I guess. But
yeah, and I think we like seek out RPG Maker games because I like the genuineness of the developers. I feel like almost every developer is like a cool person. I just get that vibe. I've never met, other than Psychronic, a real self-centered, asshole. It's like, nah.
What?
But yeah, I think that's why I like RPG Maker games, because the developers who make them are like, I don't know, they seem like cool people. It's not like a Ubisoft game or some crap like that.
Yeah, indie games. Yeah, so I'm always trying to like find like the hidden gems and get them out there. That's kind of my motivation for doing some of this too. Get some recognition for like people that don't, typically have big marketing teams and stuff like that.
For sure, man. So another one for the books, huh? Castle Xenon. We did it. Or didn't do it. We reviewed it, but god damn it, that one thing looked hella cool when you was trying to wake up Leon, but he got burnt because she does fire stuff. I thought that was cool. I didn't get to it because
that was cool, and you could see the slime on her sprite as well. Mm-hmm. If you notice that that detail, but I didn't rate the presentation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, D7.
See how y'all do me? Y'all just leave me out. I'm already frustrated playing the game, and now I give it a 2. I give it a 2 presentation.
Okay.
What?
I'm joking.
Speak on it. I was going to say, speak on it. So.
Like I said, presentation looks good. When I look at the itch.io page, it looks really professional. It looks just by looking at the page itself, I want to download it, I want to play it, I want to try it. Custom title screen, nice little drawing animation. Not really, I'm not playing it just for the girls, but I'm playing it just to have fun. Just looking at the itch.io page right now, knowing the characters that we do have, and I do see 2 new other battlers on the itch.io page, Myria and Zetzel. So this showing that we are getting new characters, and Elion looks different, and Gas look different. So these are different classes. It looks good. It definitely reminds me of the older Final Fantasy game, you know, with a little bit of Breath of Fire in it and a little bit of Dragon Quest. It's all that hybrid. It looks good until you actually play it. And like I said, the only thing that's really my problem is the battles. I think the battles don't need to be as punishing in the beginning with the miss and the high random encounters. You know, it's meant to get harder as you go, not meant to be like ridiculously RNG dependent, you know, as a squire. You know what I mean? Like, let your player at least figure out, like, let them at least know they're at least doing something until we need the skills to, like, oh man, we need to really strategize and figure out what we need to do. So presentation and over outlook of everything, you know, to try to keep the retro aesthetic with the music, you know, the vibe, the short dialogue, and, you know, the quirkiness. I give it an 8. I give it an 8.
Yeah. So I guess 888 then.
Yeah, that's a great part of the way to have a great game. I feel like, in my opinion, it's easier to make those tweaks to help the player mechanically, but the style and nailing that is just as hard as the story and nailing that. So I think this developer's like well on their way to having like a fun game.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I may sound crazy. I do want to finish it. I do want to finish the game. I do want to see what the developer has in store. I'm not even sure this is it's just finished. I'm not sure. I think it may be finished. It doesn't say demo. I think this is the full game.
Mm-hmm. And I bought Grand Soul Story, by the way. Nice. I remember the name. You know what I mean? So this can be one of those games. Captain Xenon could be one of those games. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So will you hush, Violet? Y'all hear my dog?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you keep it or uninstall it? In this current state, will you keep the game or uninstall it?
Hey, look, I might lose all my progress, so I gotta keep it. It's literally running right now. So.
At this point, I'm ready to uninstall it. However, if some of the mechanics were to change, I might re-download it in the future and try again.
I'll keep it. I think it has potential. You know, I probably need this focus a little bit more instead of just being frustrated behind the battles, because I'm trying to tell you, like, these battles could definitely sap away your energy, and I think that's what was happening to me yesterday on the stream. You know, me personally, I try to stream, I try to show everything that I can, you know, when I play a game, and, you know, even when I'm playing a game for fun, I try to show as much as I can and you know, get as far and enjoy the game. But the battles, it's just a miss. It's hard to miss not being frustrated with the battles. It's really hard not to be. But apparently, you know, that overcame me, and you know, it kind of had me lose my interest, where I can't play this game for a long time. I gotta play the bits and pieces. You know, when I play a decent RPG Maker game, I want to play the game for a long time. If I could play it for 8 hours, I will play it for 8 hours. If I could play it for 5 hours, I could play it for 5 hours, but I don't want to play it for like an hour because of the battles. Oh my gosh, man! You could see it in my stream yesterday. It's all in my voice. I'm like, oh man, and I said, forget fighting. I might as well run, because fighting don't do jack, don't get money. I need 300 experience points to level up. The enemies are giving me 6 experience at max, that's a lot of fighting. So of course I'm gonna run away, and you may heard me say it plenty of times. Hey man, no need to fight. I'm gonna lose more health fighting than from running. So yeah, that's my thing. That my rant is over, you guys.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah, man. Thanks for the pick.
That's why
D7.
it's free on itch. I wanted feedback like this, but I get no feedback. I guess because it doesn't ease into the. All right, so
That is
so this is what I'm going to propose to you, my guy. If this is a finished project, definitely, it may be too late to like really make the big changes in your project, but any new projects that you have in the future, reach out to any one of us. We will play your game. We will give you all the feedback. We have a great Discord server where we give feedbacks, and there's many of amazing people right in the chat that gives feedback. And to shout out a few, we got Annoy Nova. He is a Twitch streamer and he gives amazing feedback. Then we have, Heroic Zephyr. She does amazing and give good feedback. And the good thing about us in this panel and people in the chat, they make great games. They got some really great quality games and story driven games too. So you have a whole community to get feedback, and I do want to appreciate that you reaching out to me. I'm not sure I'm not sure it's from a Reddit post or maybe you just saw one of my streams, but I really appreciate you appreciate you reaching out and wanting me to play your game. And I felt like I had to pass this on to the RTP crew because something like this definitely should be looked at, with by myself and my brothers here. So definitely appreciate you. And there is a community where you can get involved, and if you need feedback, only thing you need to do is just ask for it, and I'm pretty sure anyone will be willing to give it to you. And that's all I have to say.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks again to the developer. It's a fun game. Yep. Thanks for letting us review it, and I'm actually looking forward to like any updates, like if it does get an update. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it out. I'm going to finish this game. May stream it here and there, may play offline, may do both, a hybrid, or upload videos. That way you could constantly see my progress. And from now on, I understand you developers like the bat seat and tell us what to do, but yeah, I'm gonna try not to like, hey man, help me out here, help me out. I'm gonna try not to do that. Yeah, baby. Huh? I'll talk to you later, okay? Go!
They sound like they got a secret code or something.
My goodness. Alright, guys. So, I mean, is there any, the girls out here, is there anything else you guys want to tell the developer before we go?
Just that we're here to help. And we just want your game to be as good as it can be. And I'm glad I had the chance to try it out. And we're still here to help. So if you want to join the Discord or whatever, like we give each other help as other developers and stuff like that. So maybe something to consider too.
Join the Discord. Definitely join the Discord. And one thing I do figure, it helps a lot of developers critique other people's games as well. Because once you start seeing things in other people's games, and especially problems, it definitely helps you with your projects.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I will talk to everybody. I will talk to everybody and their mama, and even the walls and every trees. And maybe I will stomp on the fairy next time I find one and see what it does, instead of getting the 16 experience points that I normally get. So until next episode, guys, I guess we'll see you guys later.
Have a great evening. Peace out, guys.
RTP is out, baby. Let's freaking go. All right, guys. Y'all have an amazing evening, and we'll see you later.
All right, peace out, guys. Till next week. See ya.